everybody, and welcome back to Fall Guys! Yeah, that's right, dude, we're going old school. We ain't got the face cam. We're going straight into a game. I even got the music off, that's when you know I'm serious. But pretty much, I just wanted to talk about, you know, the big elephant, well, it's more like a dinosaur at this point. A big creature in the room, okay? And first of all, I kind of just want to say a little bit of an apology. Well, not really an apology, but I know my last Fall Guys video was kind of me praising the update. Yeah, it deserves praise, definitely. There are some great things about this update. However, the main problem with the update, I didn't really touch on too much, and that's because I just hate being negative. I hate really complaining, because at the end of the day, this is a free game. We get free updates. It's a blessing, really, if you think about it. We've been getting free updates since the game, you know, went free-to-play, got bought by Epic. And it does feel a little bit ungrateful for me to be complaining about the quality of the updates, as again, it's a free game. But at the same time, it gets to a point, you know what I mean? By the way, this ain't, like, scripted or, like, edited, really. I mean, I've turned the music off so I can just focus on what I'm saying. I know most of you guys pretty much know what's going on at this point, but I'm just gonna go over it again just in case you missed it. So pretty much, we got a Fall Guys update the other day. You might think, oh, what's in the update? We got a big, like, slime factory leak at the start of Tropical Tides. What is the update? It's a crown rank update, a new rank cycle. We got a ranked mastery cycle, which is actually what I'm playing right now. And this is actually really fun. This is the first ranked squads mode we've actually had. So you know what? I'm going to give it praise because this is actually the good part of the update. Also got a fire new theme pass. So the theme pass is actually really good. Unfortunately, that is where my praises end, and that's actually where the update ends. Yeah, there is kind of, well, yeah, there's nothing else to this update, that's right. We didn't get any new levels to go with the new theme. Well, the new theme, it's not even the theme, bro. We didn't get a new skybox, no objects, nothing. This update has brought us stuff that we kind of have taken for granted now. You know, like the new rank cycle with every update, the new fame passes, like an event midway through the update. Like, this is just stuff we've been taken for granted. And unfortunately, that is the only thing we've gotten in this update. And that is because, well, in the files for this update, they added cosmetics. And you may be wondering, oh, well, that's great. They're prioritizing the cosmetics for the next update, which is what they normally do, to be fair. No, they have not done that. They have prepared cosmetics for the next year, bro. I wish I was joking. Here's the 6th anniversary nameplate, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. Not a skybox, that's for bloody sure. You know, you may be wondering, this update, you know, we've had one bad update. Why are people overreacting? And it's the cosmetics thing. And people are asking on Twitter, what's going on, Fall Guys? Genuinely, tell us what's going on. Is this game going on autopilot? Which basically means that for the next year, we're not going to be getting any updates at all, just stuff that is in the files, like cosmetics, LTMs. So everyone was asking them on Twitter, they were asking them everywhere. There was absolute mania in the Fall Guys community. We've had, like, uproars like this, you know, when the voting happened back in SS3, SS2, when we didn't have updates for months and months in SS3. I personally have never seen the community so outraged. And, you know, back when there was, like, voting and stuff, you still had people, like, defending Mediatonic, saying, like, oh, well, the voting had a reason, which, to be fair, I reckon some of the levels did, but a lot of the voting was just for the sake of it, so they can manage the smaller round pool. That's a topic for another time. But this time is different. I have not seen a single person defending this, apart from the moderators on the Fall Guys Discord, which, to be fair, makes sense. I can imagine it being very frustrating for the moderators to be seeing that. Fall Guys is shutting down, guys. We've got to save the game. Everyone's spamming it all the time. That would get bloody annoying. And props to the moderators for having to put up with it. But you can't blame them, man. You just can't. People are outraged not because they hate the game, not because they're trying to spread hate, but because we care. We want to show Mediatonic and Epic Games, and we care about this game so freaking much. Personally, this is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game with all my heart. The community is absolutely amazing. And in a way, and this sounds corny because it is just a video game, but it has changed my life. Like, streaming this game, recording this game, having a community like that, it has changed my life for the better. And honestly, I don't know where I'd be without this game, dude. I'm so serious. This game means the world to me, which is why it's so sad to see the state of the lack of communication, the state of updates. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here, as much as I loved Tropical Tides, it is really sad that the last time we got a new obstacle was in the Halloween update, bro. That's almost a year ago now. And by the way, it was the freaking trapeze, which not many people like. So, yeah, updates have already been controversial as it is because they are only adding decorational stuff. But no, it's gotten so bad to the point where... Bye-bye, mate. Sorry, I'm not commentating. It gets to a point where now we are seemingly only getting these things. And again, you may be wondering, where have you gotten this information from? Why are people speculating this so much? And that's what Mediatonic have been asking. They've been asking for confirmation and, you know, telling us, give us communication, dude. What is going on with our beloved Little Bean game? And now they did respond. Yes, they did respond. It's not good. It's not good. It's just the same stuff we already knew. They told us we're getting rank cycles every, I think it was 8 weeks. I don't know. I don't have the tweet up right now, but it'll be on screen. We're getting new fame passes, live events to shake up the gameplay, because having some challenges really shapes up the gameplay massively. I mean, to be fair, I mean, the challenges are kind of fun to complete, but they don't shape up the gameplay like they say it does. A lot of people actually don't care about the challenges. They don't care about the live events, really. They care about the meat and potatoes of an update. Let's be honest, right? The most hype an update is loading on the game for the first time. Maybe you're on the game so early that the live event for the new levels aren't even out yet. So what you do is you go into Knockout and you try and get the new levels. And yes, they're not Unity levels anymore. They haven't been Unity levels for a long, long time. And I personally don't see why people are still complaining about no Unity in the Big 25, bro. It's been freaking years. Please get over it. No, but I think the levels in creative are fine. Like this level where I'm playing right now, Slippy Slopes, I think this level is up to scratch with Unity. I truly believe that this level is brilliant. And there are so many good Mediatonic creative levels. And don't even get me started on some of the bangers that the community make. But we'll get onto that a little bit later on how I think this game could actually be kind of saved. And it won't cost them any time. But anyway, I'll get onto that later. Yeah, I think that the Mediatonic creative levels are great. I really, really like most of them. There's a couple where they're like a little bit bare bones. But also, I actually don't think many people work on this game anymore. I think that's why they stopped doing Unity. Because, you know, obviously as the game decreases in popularity, which is the unfortunate truth. But it makes sense for a game of Fall Guys to drop down in popularity. Because if you remember... it was one of the most top games in the world, bro, during quarantine, back when Legacy was a thing. I mean, I didn't even play Legacy, but I can recognize how iconic those seasons were, was because that was when the game was at its first peak. Now, again, an interesting thing about Fall Guys, which no other game really has, is that it, you know, apart from Minecraft, Fortnite, games like that, this game actually had a massive revival. This game massively came back in the Legacy days when Epic Games brought Fall Guys. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh, I hate Epic Games. There's literally a hashtag on Twitter right now. I'm going to warn you, I'm going to swear here, but it's literally hashtag fuck Epic Games. And I get it, right? You want someone to blame for the state of the game right now. But also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Epic works on this game directly. They fund the game, they do, like, the marketing, I'm guessing? Like I said, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's any proof, please let me know. But I think Mediatonic, as a company, work on this game, and Mediatonic are under Epic. Does that make sense? Like, I think Epic are the ones that just publish the game. It's under Epic's name, you know? So I don't think Epic is to blame. When free-to-play came out, that was, in my opinion, where the game, I don't know if it was statistically at its biggest, but that's when I discovered the game. That's when a lot of other people discovered the game, you know, when the game came out on Xbox and Switch. And I think Fall Guys, even now, is still one of the most popular free games on Switch. Like, it's really high up there. Even on every console, in fact. So, but I get it, right? I do get it. It's because this game doesn't make as much money as the stupid Fortnite sloppy games. So, of course, Epic aren't going to be putting as much money into Fall Guys. But from a business standpoint, does that not make sense? If a product under your company is not doing, like, it's not making money, then why would you put money towards it? Do you know what I mean? Fortnite Steal the Brain Rot game, which is just a rip-off of a slop Roblox game. It's pretty tragic. I'm not a Fortnite player, so no offense, I don't really care. What I do care about, obviously, is Fall Guys. And I just don't think Epic is directly to blame for this. I think what's to blame here is Mediatonic and their horrendous communication skills. This has been a well-known fact about Mediatonic. They just have the communication of a woodlouse. They are pretty bad at it. It was only during, like, SS3 and when they opened up their Fall Guys Owl account on Twitter was when they started getting better at it. But they just kind of went silent again, and it just wasn't very good. But if Mediatonic was more honest with us and told us where the game direction is going, which is what they've done, but in a very corporate way. One thing I do want to address is the people that are saying Fall Guys is shutting down. That is heavily misleading. As I said, the cosmetics are, whether you like it or not, added for the next year, which pretty much guarantees that this game is not going anywhere for the next year. Like, this game ain't shutting down. The servers are not closing or anything like that. However, I do kind of believe that updates as we know it, this era of Fall Guys is dead. This is it. This is, I would say, probably the closing era of Fall Guys, where we're not going to get any more updates. It's just going to be fame passes, live events, you know, LTM schedules. And it's such a shame, man. And here's what I think is going to happen. Eventually, once the year is over, maybe they'll keep doing this, like, you know, adding fame passes and live events. I don't think they will. What I think is going to happen at the end of the year is pretty much they're going to do what Garden War... Again, this is just speculation. I don't know if this is how it's going to happen. Maybe they will shut the servers. I mean, Multiverses did shut down. You know, this other... You can't even play the game anymore, so... But I don't know if you've heard of this game called Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. You definitely probably have. But it's... The game hasn't had... Like, Garden Warfare 2 hasn't had an update in... Correct me if I'm wrong, like 5 years? Longer than that? It's been a serious long time since Garden Warfare 2 has released anything new. And yet, you can still buy the game, you can still play the game, and what they have is pretty much what Fall Guys are doing now. Well, not really, because Fall Guys is technically still adding new stuff, but Garden Warfare basically has like an autopilot system too, where every year there'll be like town halls, which is basically the limited time game mode of the month. They still cycle over. There's still limited time sticker packs you can get during Halloween and Christmas. So that game technically still gets content for people that haven't played it, but it's nothing new, obviously. And that is unfortunately what I think is going to happen to Fall Guys. Unless they do what Multiverses did and they actually shut it down. And my god, I hope they don't do that, because even if this game stopped getting updates, it's still something I'd play a little bit. Even without updates, Explore Mode is the best part of this game right now. As much as I love the competitive stuff, we need better competitive stuff. That's all I'm saying. As much as I love the ranked mastery cycles. And let's transition into our next point. How I think this game could have longevity, and how I think maybe this game can't be saved, it won't make much more money, but I think this is the way going forward on how this game could live on in the community of the people that still care about it. I think, and this is crazy that I'm suggesting this so far into creative lifespan, I think this game needs to be run majoritarily by the community. And what I mean by that is Fall Guys need to start implementing the community's levels. Let's be brutally honest here, and I'm going to be brutally honest. How hard would it be to have a game mode in the game with 30, maybe 40 community creative levels, and just change the round pool every month? All you gotta do for this game mode, make it be the old knockout, where pretty much it would feature the community creative levels. Bring that back, have only community levels, and have the mode maybe switch every month or two, maybe with every new fame pass or freaking rank cycle. I'd prefer it every month, but every 2 months would also be fine. This is how I think we should get new content. If they don't want to make new levels for us, that's fine. Get the community to do your work for you. It sounds mean, but trust me, this is what the majority of the player base wanted. We always wanted you guys to feature more community levels. I mean, there's literally a video, an Izzy Torrum's video, a 20-minute video of how Mediatonic have just treated the builders of the game, the creative editors, just horribly. That's just an objective fact. What is the incentive to make levels? Ever since they got rid of community levels in Knockout, there is no incentive. You don't get any rewards. You don't get your game modes featured. You might get a lucky LTM. And how many LTMs have they really done which featured community levels? Well, we had Wilderness Falls, which is a fire LTM. This is what I mean. Everyone loved Wilderness Falls. I didn't see a single person saying anything bad about that game mode. And that's because that game mode featured, I believe it had only community levels. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how hard would it be for a game mode that changed every month or two with only community levels? And that would be our way of getting new content. And I think what they could do is what they actually did before, where they had a Discord server, like a private Fall Guys Discord server, where they would select certain people that are good at making levels. That the promise here for this Discord server, and again, if you want the full information, go watch Izzy Torrum's video. It's bloody brilliant. It goes into it so well. But there was a Discord server for Fall Guys editors. All I know is that they were promised an early build of the update so they could make levels for the theme. And unfortunately, they didn't go through this. They literally invited them to this program. They got them to sign an NDA. Like, it was a serious thing at one point. But Mediatonic just didn't give out the early builds, which is just honestly disgusting if you think about it. They pretty much led on the whole Discord server for a year. Like, I think it was a year anyway. It was since, like, Scrapyard Stumble before that even, I think. This was back when Knockout had community levels, and then they got rid of the community levels. God knows why. I mean, to be fair, I do like the state of Knockout now, where it features every Mediatonic level, but I prefer the community levels because they were always new, different, fresh, and it's just a nice way of thanking the community for making levels. And don't give me this crap like, oh, but we have Creator Spotlight, which, by the way, they freaking abandoned it already. The game mode didn't even last that long before it stopped getting updates. It's just, it's disappointing. I mean, but here's the thing about Creator Spotlight 2, is that it's in the Explore format. And don't get me wrong, this is not me hating on Explore, like I said earlier. Explore right now is my favorite feature of Fall Guys. I could play that for hours and hours and hours, and it's bloody so much fun just getting random community levels. But there is a place for that in the game, and I do agree that I would prefer a community like game mode which changed every month. And again, I just don't think it would be that hard to do. Like Geometry Dash, let's be honest, a game like Geometry Dash and Friday Night Funkin' even are hard carried by the community. Like, yes, the game gets updates. Like Geometry Dash took so long to get, was it like 7 years or something like that to get an update? Bloody hell, that, like, God knows how the game lived that long. Well, let me tell you why. It's because of the community and how great the community is. And the levels I'm not really a Geometry Dash player, but the levels that the community made, they were featured by RobTop, right? They had like weekly demons and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, we need that treatment in Fall Guys. We need like LTMs which feature, or game modes that feature the community levels, because what is the incentive to making levels? You don't even get a reward for your level even getting featured. But even then, like, getting your level just featured is enough for people to make levels. The reason why so many level editors quit the game is because you're not featuring the levels. Like I said, we had Wilderness Falls, which everyone loved, and then we had like the Fall Guys games mode, which is just dumb, by the way, because there were only like a couple community levels in that game mode. And by the way, while we're on the ranting about Fall Guys, what is up with Mediatonic being able to make team point levels, but we can't? Why can't us level editors make team levels? It makes no sense. Why does the whole point of Mediatonic making creative levels, like new levels using the creative editor, was so they had the same power as us. It was to show us what we can do with creative and the new obstacles. So I don't understand why Mediatonic still have more power. I don't really get it. It doesn't really make any sense to me at all. That's a minor thing, though. Just let the community be able to make team levels, goddammit. But that is personally how I think that this game, I don't think it could be saved. Maybe that's a bit of a strong word. But I definitely think the longevity of this game could last a lot longer if it was more community ran. Like I said, Friday Night Funkin', another example. That game, yes, it gets updates, but we haven't had an update in a year. I think it took like multiple years before we got a new like story mode week in the game. But the community are just such talented and amazing people, and I know the Fall Guys editor isn't as powerful as like Friday Night Funkin' modding, as the Geometry Dash level editors, but we can still have a similar thing, right? This game could be community ran, and I really think that is the future. They should have took a long time ago, to be honest, and they were going for it. They really, really were, and I was loving the direction the game was taking. But then they just stopped, and I just don't understand why. What was the problem with that? I get it, a thing like ranked mode, I don't think that deserves community levels. I think ranked mode is actually perfect how it is, but the majority of the player base don't care about ranked mode. I'm sorry. They play Fall Guys to have a fun time casually with their friends. And also, the fact that we don't have a squads mode to play creative levels in general is insane! The only way you can play creative levels with your friends is through these LTMs like Squad Spectacular and Fall Guys games, I guess, but that LTM kind of sucked. But yeah, I know it's been an absolute mess of a video. I hope you I just wanted to make a video talking about everything, because again, I don't think I did this topic to justice in my last video. I kind of just over skimmed over it, but hopefully I got absolutely everything I wanted to say and why I think this game still could. You know, again, save is a strong word. I think this game has more in it, and it needs to be community run. If they don't want to make updates anymore, it's sad, but it's a live service game, and it just sucks. I didn't think, like, I knew I was going to make a video like this eventually, where it would be like the game on its last legs, but I just didn't think it would be anytime soon. I thought this game really, really was, like, under Epic Games, I just really thought this game could be something bigger, and it's sad. It actually does physically make me upset that this game is at risk of, you know, no more updates. It's really sad. I love this game so much, bro. I just don't want to see it gone. I just don't. And I really think if any Mediatonic employees are watching, take what I said on board about the community ran thing, because I really, really think that is the direction this game could be taken. Again, this video is so messy, I'm hardly going to edit it. I just wanted to get all of my thoughts out. Also, one more thing, there is like a petition going on to save Fall Guys. God knows if it will actually do anything. I'm going to be honest, it probably won't, but just sign it anyway. You might as well, right? But yeah, that is literally everything I wanted to talk about. It's a sad state of the game, but let's hope that things maybe turn around. I don't know, dude. At least we still got what's it called? Oh my god, Treat Thieves! At least we got Treat Thieves to look forward to. I'm gonna love that. I love Treat Thieves. I also got more Squad Spectacular that I want to play for a video. And yeah, thank you all for listening to me yap. I am baffled if you've actually listened to this, because what a mess of a video this is. I don't care. I just want to get this video out. I just want to, you know, get the elephant out of the room, out of the way, so I can focus on actually just playing this update. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, where hopefully I'm a bit more positive. Goodbye!